Today, what's in my camera bag? How am I packing it? That's changed quite a bit over the last year. We're gonna look at some really inspirational travel photographs from others, and finally, talk about workshops that I'm really excited to have launched this week. Well, happy spring, everyone. It's Hudson. Today we're gonna really run through my stuff. I'm gonna go through how I pack my photo bag right now if I'm going out on a photo adventure. I'm gonna talk about what other gear I might consider putting in that photo bag, what I'm gonna take, on a plane, on a big adventure somewhere, how I'm gonna organize all that stuff in my current kit of cases and backpacks that I think are the absolute best. Spring of 2021. So it's exciting time. Travel's opening up. I want to also, after I go through all this gear stuff, talk about some really spectacular travel images that were both submitted for my office hours, as well as a set of images from the pandemic by a photographer that really just caught my eye as an amazing bit of local storytelling. So I'm going to share that stuff with you, as well as announce a bunch of workshops. We got workshops for Yellowstone, Moab, the Tetons up at hudsonhenry.com/workshops. We also have one for Brookings that's already waitlisted. That one just went like that. Only one spot left for Tetons too, if you're interested. So those are selling quick. They're up and online. Talk about those just a little bit. But I want to jump in. Of course, as always, everything is chaptered out in the time code at the bottom of this video if you just scroll along it. And there's a table of contents that's linked time codes in the video's full description. You just click the description or show more, along with links to everything that I talk about. And really important, those links, just so you know, do help me out. They're affiliate links to B&H and Amazon and my partner brands, and I really appreciate when you use them. If there's something else you're interested in, always hit me up, and I'm willing to talk about it, give you guidance, throw links around. So, all right, I want to talk first about what I'm throwing in my photo bag. And I used to carry a larger f-stop Suka photo bag. F-stop is, I just feel like f-stop of all the bag manufacturers makes one with a harness that's really designed to protect your back as a photographer. And provide really easy access, and it's super modular. You can reorganize it with different internal camera units to have more backpacking gear, less camera gear, or more camera gear, less backpacking gear. It's a really well-designed ergonomic pack designed for those of us who carry a lot of gear on adventures in wild places. So I'm going to delve in. I'm going to go through what I would get in the back access compartment first. So, opening this up, things have changed. Like I said, I used a bigger Suka pack in the DSLR days. I've downsized to a Talopa pack, a smaller version of their pack. And inside that pack, I've got my mirrorless kit. And the main reason for that, I'm using a medium slope ICU. And what that means is that this is Velcroed in here right now, but it's a little bit shallower at the top and wider at the bottom. So it's actually shaped kind of like a wedge in the bag. And that's really nice because I can throw in any of my Z cameras. I usually just put the little eye cup that I keep in here off to the side, and I can put them with a lens, whether it's my 20mm 1.8, my 50mm 1.8, this 24-70 f4, a whole bunch of my lenses just fit in this little pocket that I've got right here. Drop it in there. I've got a little Nisi 15mm Sunstar lens. I love creating Sunstars. I did a video recently, I'll link that in the description, about this lens. Sometimes I carry a different accessory lens in here, but that's what I've got right there. Also, my method of holding cleaning cloths, microfiber cleaning cloths, is to have them in a sealed Ziploc to keep them clean. And when one gets dirty, I just throw it loose in the bag. I know that one needs to go in the washing machine. When it comes out of the washing machine, back in a Ziploc in my bag. I know which ones are clean, I know which ones are dirty. And I've got a hood for my 14-24 2.8S, my favorite wide angle lens ever. So that's all in what would fit one sort of medium-sized DSLR. Oh, here's the little eye cup I like to put on the back of my Z cameras. So whether I'm using my Z6 II or my Z7 II, this little eye cup I usually tuck in between the lens and the camera and be able to flip it right on the back there. All right. The next camera compartment over here, I've got my 70-200 2.8S, the best 70 to 200 2.8 I've ever used. Locked in right there with its foot. Its foot has it's a Kirk special Arca foot that has a QD on it, so I can just lock it right into my shoulder strap, my Lumalabs QD shoulder strap, and have it hang at my side instead of hanging off the body. The camera hangs from it, since the camera's lighter than it. I have the aforementioned 14 to 24 2.8S, which in this medium slope ICU fits nose down in a way that the old 14 to 24 would have never dreamed of doing. And you see it's got a little built-in pedal hood on it, and it's kind of a special lens cap that's unique, but it also has the bigger hood that I put back here in case you really are dealing with any kind of flare issues. You got a secondary hood. And then I have a third hood for it sitting right here. The last compartment in here is the big filter hood. This takes 112 millimeter filters. I have a case 112 magnetic filter ring in there. That fits also on my 70 to 200 2.8S lens. So two of the four lenses in here, this filter set fits. And then I have a little case holder with a UV filter in case I'm working with that 14 to 24 or the 70 to 200 in rough conditions, a circular polarizer, and these are all ultra thin stackable magnetic case 112 millimeter filters. And then a 4, 6, and 10 stop NDs, as well as a neutral night filter for doing star and Milky Way work. So all that fits this little case, which sits in here right beside my filter hood. Good to go. Now I'm just waiting on case. They're supposed to be creating a step-up ring to 112 millimeters. And when that happens, then I won't even need to carry any filters for my 24 to 70 and other lenses that this doesn't fit. By the way, just so everyone knows, this 112 millimeter filter holder and hood assembly with the big cap that fits the 14 to 24 millimeter lens, it fits the following S lenses that I know and can confirm. It fits the 14 to 24 2.8, it fits the 14 to 30 f4, it fits the 24 to 70 2.8 S lens, and it fits the 70 to 200. So it's time to start considering 112 millimeter filters, and if you adapt those to smaller lenses, you're never going to have any problem with vignetting. And these magnetic case make it just a piece of cake to work with. The final thing that's accessible to me in my back pocket is right here in the top. This kind of folds over and fits against the empty spot where my ICU doesn't fill in, is a 10,000 milliamp, might even be a 20,000 milliamp. It's the equivalent of about 5 Nikon batteries for the system, and it's got a USB-C cord, and it's got power delivery. And if I'm working doing time lapse or Milky Way, or even if I just want to charge my camera in the bag, all I have to do is route that USB-C cable into the camera. It'll keep the camera running while I'm working on the Nikon Z6 II and Z7 II, or it'll charge it while it's in the bag. So I need to carry a lot less batteries with that little backup charged in my compartment there. So if I close this up, I've got a lot more compartments to work with. I'll just go with what's in my side zipper compartments. So I don't have a tripod strapped on there right now, but I do have a Think Tank battery wallet with 4 extra batteries in this expandable side pocket. That's all that I have in there. Sometimes I have some spare AA batteries if I'm working with flashes or things like that. In this pocket, I have a couple of just emergency extras. I have a foldable pair of reading glasses in case I find I don't have reading glasses and I need to see something small. And I have a little stretchy rubber universal lens cap just in case I lost a lens cap and maybe 2 lens caps, or I forgot to bring a spare of the size I might need. So those are my 2 side pockets. Not a whole bunch in there. I don't like to smash a lot of stuff when I strap a tripod to the side. So then I've got up in my kind of upper compartment here, when you open it up, you can just load it with whatever you want. I have a set of filters for the 24 to 70 or whatever other lens I have until that step up to 112 millimeter ring starts showing up. So I've got 82 millimeter case filters right here, Again, this has a UV, a circular polarizer, a 6-stop and a 10-stop ND along with caps, and those just clamp into a ring that I have here with an extra cap on it so that I can put it on whatever lens, and I'll put a step-up ring in here for whatever lenses I'm carrying to adapt to 82 millimeters. So that's just kind of legacy stuff. Probably won't be carrying those once I get the step up to 112 rings. I've got a bag here that has a bunch of like lighting accessories. Sometimes I'll put flash strobe accessories in here. This is a little f-stop accessory bag. It basically right now has a bunch of lume cubes and lume cube panels and some gels and some just, you know, little dinky tripods to put those on. Also in here, underneath the ICU and behind it, I have my advanced panorama rails. If I was to do something that's very, very close and I wanted to tilt and do multi-row, or I was up on top of a big escarpment, I have those pieces that I need to do advanced multi-row panoramas or tilted panoramas where I'm still keeping the no parallax point in line on my camera. I keep those in a little mesh f-stop accessory bag. And then I've also got a full-on cleaning kit in here. I have a sensor loop, a lit sensor loop, some sensor cleaning swabs and solution, microfiber cloths, a sensor stick, some residual oil remover, just in case you get something gooey on your lens that you need to remove, you blow it off. I have a blower more accessible. I don't have to get it out of this bag. I always have a blower super accessible. Now there are times when I reorganize what's loose in here and even stick my drone. My drone will fit in behind my ICU, my medium slope ICU, and still leave me space in the top of this bag. I also always have gloves I can work with touchscreen capability from OR. Those are in my ATS gear links. All this stuff is in my links at ATS gear, or hudsonhenry.com/ATS links, sorry. And I have a nice warm Patagonia hat. Just it's always terrible when you get out and you've underestimated how cold it might be. So I always have that stuff sitting here in case I need it. And that's it for inside the main compartment of my bag. I also have a little zipper pocket up on the top of this bag. And in that, I keep a spare set of lens caps that I might need. I have a spare lens cap for that 14 to 24 2.8S. That's too special a lens to be packing without a cap on it, and it's a unique cap. And I have an 82 and a 77 and a 72. Those are the lenses in this bag. Those are the spares that I have with me. I have a little Mountain Safety Research MSR travel towel, just in case something got wet. I can swab it off with that. It's really just a micro camping towel. I have a set of caps for a Z body, the butt cap and a lens back cap, just in case I were to lose those. A bunch of microfiber cleaning cloths, a little cold shoe adapter to a 1/4-20 thread, just in case you want to mount something in your hot shoe or cold shoe. I've got a Pluto trigger and a Pluto trigger cord to be able to do long exposure, lightning triggered photography, whatever I want with the Z6 II or Z7 II, just sort of stuck up in here, ready to go. And a bunch of Zeiss wipes, just in case I need to clean some optics quickly if they get a little schmutz on them, sunscreen, sweat, whatever. So that's in my little sort of mesh compartment in the top lid. Then in the main top lid, I have some more fun stuff. I've of course got a whole little protective case with Compact Flash Express 2 and XQD cards. I really don't like using SD cards nowadays. I'm pretty much CF Express only and some XQDs. I've got a color checker from X-Rite, their little travel passport photo checker, which has a color checker for profiling as well as a gray card and white balance card. So those guys tuck into little pockets there. I've got a little GorillaPod for my, hang on here, Lume Cube mini panel, just in case I want to add a little light to a subject. It's right there. I have a compass in case it's cloudy, I can't see where the sun is or the stars are, and I'm just trying to figure out where north is or something like that. Got my compass. Again, you know, tons of Zeiss wipes in there. I have a camera rain cover just in case I get into inclement weather and I want to protect my camera from moisture. And that's essentially what I'm carrying these days on my back in the field in my f-stop Talopa bag. Medium slope ICU. All right. When I travel on an airplane, back in the day, you know, I felt young and strong and I didn't mind having this thing on my back. This fits in the overhead carry-on on the plane. These days I've gotten a little bit wiser. And so when I'm traveling, these are some things I would consider swapping into here. So let's say I'm going off on an airplane to a destination to go on a photo trip. I'm going to pull the key components, the cameras, the lenses, the batteries, battery charger out of here, and I'm going to put it into here. When I'm going on a trip, I keep all that stuff rolling onto the plane with me in the overhead bin. It's got a lock on it if they choose to gate check it. It's all really well protected. I like the Trek Pack accessory liners in this thing. And I've got other things I might choose to swap in and out gear-wise with my backpack. In addition, sometimes in here, instead of this little bag in this corner, I have my 500 PF with the FTZ adapter. That fits into here. I can actually get two Z bodies, one in here, one in here. Lenses, it all fits. It's amazing how much gear you can get packed into here. And a lot of the stuff that's into here would go into this in a duffel with my tripod to get checked in the hull of the plane. So this bag would just be checked with gear that if I lost it, it wouldn't end my photography trip. Again, you know, I like to have this. I can carry my 500 PF on my side with the FTZ adapter on it, and suddenly I have a 500 millimeter wildlife or sports lens. That thing is just wonderful to have along. Works great on the Z cameras with the FTZ adapter. So stuff that I've got in here that I sometimes am going to be using, and this is really pretty much most of the Nikon gear I'm keeping around. I've got extra tripod feet. We talked about the snowshoes. I've got extra rock claws. I got extra spikes, and just plain rubber feet in case I was working inside an old wood floor facility or something like that. I've got some other lenses that I love. My 50 1.8. Sometimes I might swap that out for the 15 millimeter in my bag or throw it in a little accessory bag. I've got 105 millimeter macro in case the trip has macro photography. Sometimes I take extension tubes instead of a macro. I've got my favorite portrait lens on the planet, my big 105 millimeter 1.4 f mount portrait lens. This thing is special to me. I've also got my 300 millimeter PF, the smaller cousin of the 500 5.6 PF. It's an amazing little wildlife lens. Somewhere in here I have my 1.4 teleconverter too for the f-mount, which it's in here in one of the bags. Maybe I don't have it loaded in for this, but I often have that little 1.4 teleconverter for the 300 and for the 500. I also have stuff for star photography. So I've got my Move star tracker right here with its laser guidance. I've got my little lens warmer that plugs into the same USB power brick as the camera. I can plug them in at both at the same time, keep the front of the lens warm so no condensation forms on it while I'm keeping my camera charged while I'm doing star photography. I've got my little Acrotech GXP 1 pound, holds 50 pound head to use with the star tracker atop my, my pan and tilt head. I've got a easy to thread into my tripod little phone holder, and I also carry a tablet holder sometime, but this lets me just mount my phone and be able to use, you know, apps like the Pluto Trigger or the Foolography Unleashed, or be, you know, doing complex sort of time-lapse control from Lightroom time-lapse while it's mounted on the tripod and I don't have to hold it in my hand. Preview images. And then I've got just assorted cleaning cloths and things. I keep big cleaning cloths, big microfiber cleaning cloths in here to shield my lenses. So that's sort of accessories that I bring along in addition to my backpack. And I absolutely love this Pelican rolling case. You know, taking this through the airport, fits right in the overhead, has lock points if they force you to gate check it. Plus it's just so padded. And if you lock this thing with a TSA lock, have them gate check it, you feel a lot better than a soft bag. And it works great as a locker when I'm on the road. Say I'm teaching a workshop, I can use that as a locker for the type of gear that I'm swapping in and out. We're going to shoot portraits today. Well, out goes one lens, in goes the 105 millimeter. Oh, we're doing birds and wildlife. In goes the 300 and the 500. Out comes the 70 to 200 maybe. Stuff like that. Finally, the stuff that I'm carrying, I think most of you know, but maybe some people haven't seen later videos. I've got my ultra lightweight, sub 4 pound, pan tilt with built-in leveling adapter from Leo Photo and Acrotech, the Acrotech panorama head, which I just adore. When I need to go light or when I need to stop a second tripod on the bag, I got those Leo Photo TFS spikes that add additional height to this smaller tripod. Even though it gets to eye level now, it gets the spike height above eye level, and those caps come off to keep you from cutting yourself up traveling with them, or even taking them off and putting them on your backpack. And then I've got my sub 7 pound fluid head system, the Manfrotto 500AH on the killer new Leo Photo leveling adapter that lets you get to ground level with no handle underneath. And I've got the Kirk bridge assembly with their LRP3 no nodal point slider that lets me get the camera balanced on that head and also do panoramas in a breeze. And on both tripods, of course, I have stone bags. And that's really almost everything, except I forgot one pocket in my bag. Hang on. The front horseshoe pocket on here has some other necessities that I just wouldn't want to be without. So the front horseshoe pocket opens up, and in here I've got my Princeton Tech Viz 140 lumen headlamp, charged and locked out. You just hold the button for 5 seconds, it locks itself out so that it can't accidentally turn on in the bag. I have my rocket blower in case I get the need to clean some optics. That lets me blow off any potential abrasive material before I clean them with a fluid, or maybe it just blows everything off that's a problem. I have my Luma Labs QD strap that just plugs into any of my long lens plates or my L brackets on my camera. Click, click, and slides. This is my favorite strap on the planet. I have a glasses case with a set of reading glasses in. I can swap my sunglasses and reading glasses out. I've got a little toilet paper at the bottom just in case. Some more microfiber cleaning cloths straight out of the washing machine and dryer because you can't have too many. An extra bottle of residual oil remover in case you really need to get that gear clean. And finally, at the very bottom, spare set of batteries for the headlamp. So that's that kind of critical front compartment where I can just reach in and grab whatever I happen to need on the fly. And that, for 2021, is what heads out with me on the road. I know where each and everything is in there. It goes back in exactly the same place every time, so I don't lose it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions about it, hit me up. Links to all of it are at hudsonharry.com/ATS-links. Thanks for using those, it helps me out. And let's jump in, let's talk about some travel photographs and workshops. All right, so I promised that I was going to talk a little bit about some inspirational photography from others, some travel photography. Things are opening up. It's looking more and more likely that we can travel, and I'm scheduling workshops, and I think everybody's got the bug. So I just thought, what better thing to do than to look through some inspirational photography of others. And I'm going to jump in here, share my screen. And I actually want to talk about this really amazing photo essay by Roff Smith. This was in the New York Times, and my good friend Charlie Johnson shared it with Rick LePage and I this week. I hadn't noticed it. I'm going to put a link to it in the video's full description. You click on the video's title or show more, and you can dive in and get a link to this photo essay. But this was shot during the pandemic, by this wonderful photographer. It's all self-portraits of his other passion, bicycle riding. And I'm not going to go through the entire article, but I think you'll get the idea here that this is just a fabulous project by a really gifted photographer with wonderful words and text, and it's really inspirational. It inspires me to think about photography and projects, and also travel photography in a bit of a different way. As you roll through, these are all not far from home, a thing he could do during the pandemic in a project to keep him active and vibrant in his creativity. And I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful photo essay. Now, in office hours this last week, I believe we had office hours on the 6th of April, I had a gallery up, people submitting images of some of their favorite travel photographs. I'm going to put a link to that travel gallery, to the photos that we had in the free office hours meeting. And people submitted travel tips. I'll put a link to that video as well. But I just wanted to scroll through and show the quality of people that are in this audience for Approaching the Scene, for this community, and just how proud I am of everyone who submitted these stellar travel photographs. We went through, there's a photo of me in Death Valley where I met Rob Hogarth. You know, the photos in here are stellar and spectacular, and I hope that you'll take time to run through and look at some of them larger. I mean, more inspiration here to be found from all over the world. So check that gallery out. It really is quite something. Finally, I want to talk about the fact that I launched this week workshops for the latter part of 2021. I didn't feel comfortable, as we're all getting vaccinated. The virus is kind of running its course, but I felt like late August was, fair enough to run a Southern Oregon Coast workshop, which I am absolutely excited to be doing down near the California border. We're going to hit the Redwoods, we're going to hit the coast. That workshop, it sold out instantly. I didn't even put the word out about it. So if you go to my website, hudsonhenry.com, and you run over to photo training and you hit workshops, you'll see that one's waitlisted. Now maybe somebody will have to drop out of it, in which case, get on the wait list. If you click in there, there's a link to sign up on the wait list. And then we've got a big road trip in October. Rick LePage, David Archer, and I, all three of us are teaming up, so there'll be 3 instructors on this big road trip workshop. We're taking El Jefe, the Sprinter van. We'll have another minivan. Some people will have their own cars, but it's going to be a trip through Yellowstone, the Tetons, and Moab. And I can tell you that the Tetons have 1 spot remaining as of my taping this video. Yellowstone has very few spots remaining. Moab still has a little bit of room. And then in November, we're going to be doing the Cuba workshop that was postponed. That's almost completely full. I think there's 1 spot in each workshop at this moment. If there's a couple, talk to me. We might be able to work something out. Costa Rica is scheduled into next year. That's way out, more than a year. So, there are only a couple of spots remaining in it too. But coming back into this year, I think that the Parks workshops are going to just be amazing. That loop in October. Cuba, of course, is going to be spectacular. There's almost no place remaining in that. But, Moab has some places left in it. I know a lot of my kind of core repeat crew has been there over the past several years with Rick and I. If you haven't been, it's a really, really special spot. Just a treasure trove for the photographer. We're going to be photographing dawn and sunset and full moonlight and in some really spectacular places, Delicate Arch and Double Arch, and we'll also be doing a full moon behind these spectacular pinnacles. We have a cool house in town. It's a fun, funky town. It's just a kind of a dream location to teach workshops, right there with arches and canyon lands and all the other great stuff to photograph around there. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I hope you'll consider joining up. You can just run over to hudsonhenry.com/workshops or email me. I'm easy to get a hold of at hi@hudsonhenry.com. Again, thanks to everybody who's been liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. We're doing another set of office hours on why mirrorless won, what's different and better about mirrorless, and what's the same or not better about mirrorless. And we're not going to limit it to Nikon. We're going to be talking about all the brands, Sony, Fuji, Nikon, Canon, you name it. But we're going to just kind of talk about why the industry is moving in that direction. You can sign up at hudsonhenry.com/office hours. The first 100 that sign up get to join us on Zoom, more live and interactive with chat. Everyone else can watch on YouTube Live, or you can choose to watch on YouTube Live, and it'll be archived there. Submit a question when you sign up. Those questions and the comments that you leave on this YouTube channel really do drive the content. And I'm really thankful for you as a community sort of pointing me in the direction that you're all interested in going, and I find myself interested in it as well. Again, links to everything I've talked about at hudsonhenry.com/ATS links. Those links help me out, and I appreciate it a lot. If there's links that aren't there, just hit me up and I'll get them for you. Thanks again, everybody. It's so exciting that things are beginning to open up. I love that CDC directive that those that are vaccinated are safe to travel. And I can't wait to get out there collaborating, working together, having shared adventures and learning together. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you next week.